All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our Galaxy's Edge behind Batuu panel today. I'm Sophiology. I'm Sophiology, and I'm going to be leading this panel in kind of a staff interview style for those of you who are wondering why I'm here. So to start, we're going to introduce the team who has worked very tirelessly and very hard on Galaxy's Edge for us. And we're going to start over at the left with Bo.
Hi, I'm Bo. I am the project lead to Galaxy's Edge. I've been working on the project pretty much ever since I've joined the team, and it's just been a wild ride.
Hey, I'm Uick. I founded Galaxy's Edge with Nave back in December 23rd. And we have come a long way, and I'm so glad to be sharing this project with you today. Thanks for being here.
I'm Random. I've been doing tech on Galaxy's Edge, and I'm helping make sure it gets done on time.
I'm Kermit. I'm the project lead of Disney's California Adventure here on Palace, and I was also a builder for Galaxy's Edge during the summer.
Oh my god. Hi, I'm Filtered. I've been working on such projects as Frozen Ever After and other refurbishments on Palace. I started joining right as a tech for Galaxy's Edge started to gain traction. I'm currently working on Savi and part of Rise of the Resistance.
All right, I'm Gannon. I am the director of parks development. That's not actually real development. It's all more of like the building and tech and pack. And I'm currently looking over everything.
All right, so we're going to go through a couple of questions, and then at the end, if anyone has any questions for the team, you can there should be, I think, a queue somewhere at the front you can join, or you can put them in the chat on the Discord, and we'll make sure to get a few answered. But to start, I'm assuming we all know at least a gist of what Galaxy's Edge is, but for those who may not be familiar as to what it is, can you guys just explain exactly what it is and maybe a few things that you could find within the park when it opens?
I guess I'll start. So Galaxy's Edge is Disney's expansion to Disney's Hollywood Studios, and it's just based around the new trilogy of Star Wars. So what you'd be able to expect around Galaxy's Edge when it opens should be Rise of Resistance, Savi's Workshop, where you get to make your own custom lightsabers, and just other shops and trinkets around the land, such as the Marketplace, Ronto Roasters, Stock Gondars, Den of Antiquities. And I can't speak today. But other great, attractions, experiences, and sights to behold.
Yeah, so we're really going for full immersion with this land. We've been working super hard on getting all the force perspective and the terrain working for you guys. So you're going to be fully immersed in the Star Wars franchise when you enter the land. So we're so glad for you guys to start experiencing those things with us.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Can I just mention something, too? We're also going to be uploading images of the land into panel announcements as the panel goes along. So you'll be able to see, some sneak peeks into the land and, our work.
Okay. So going on, so how exactly did this whole project begin? We've seen, a lot of us who have been here a while have seen a lot of other big projects initiate and grow on Palace. So can you kind of just give us an overview of how do you guys sit down and actually begin these processes? What is even like outlining? Like, how do you get this all started?
Yeah, so let's see.
The very first step, in my opinion, we talked about we created a form maybe 2 years ago to see what the guests wanted on our server. And so that was like the first thing to figure out how we prioritize projects. And I think you probably can go and talk about that outlining process.
Yeah. So what we start doing is we actually establish a point in game that's going to be sort of one of our points in Galaxy's Edge. So we can use like the top of the Millennium Falcon or something. So we'll go and we'll put it in game and we'll say this dot right here is going to be the Millennium Falcon, right? And we go on Google Earth and we make all of these. It's a very complicated process, but we make all of these outlines based on that. And you know what? If you go ahead and check panel discussion, I'm going to send you the oldest picture I have on my computer of Galaxy's Edge. And this is, I think, a year and some change ago. So, yeah, basically what it starts with is just a bunch of lines. All we have is just color-coded lines. And you'll see there, if you look on the show building, those are actually, those really complicated lines up there are actually like the boxes, the ventilation boxes on the roof. The pink is for the terrain, so you'll be able to see that. We color-code our stuff. So that you can see those things. And yes, yellow me, a while ago. So yeah, we actually started that, and that was Nave and I. So we just shot Began a message. We said, "Hey, can we start on Galaxy's Edge?" He said, "Yep, it's time." And we went on and we started outlining, and that's what we did. It took us about a month and a week or so, and then we started putting people on the project. And so that's where people like Bo come in, where we start managing the project, putting builders on stuff, and it just goes from there. So yeah, and I'll see if I can find some other pictures for you guys of early Galaxy's Edge, because we have some really old ones. In fact, I have a really good one I'll show you right now. Yep, that is Bo and Nave and I messing around on Galaxy's Edge. We were trapping each other inside the ground. Here is me and Nave in front of some crazy creation we made. We were really bored, and so we made a 1960s radio station, or 1920s. Palace
1928 radio.
1928 radio station. So yeah, we just, honestly, it's a lot of like outlining, messing around. You'll notice in the back, that's actually, in like the huge pink blob back there is actually the terrain. And so Bo went along and colored that, but Nave and I were the ones to sort of position that terrain and make all the molding for it. So it's a lot of very blank outlining. Nothing is very colored in, but the shaping is kind of getting there, if that makes sense. Let's see. I have another one. Okay, so if you check real quick, this is really old. This is, that guy right there is Songteller. So he actually made our Millennium Falcon. So if you go and you check that out, and I think we have a picture we'll show you. This is actually his process for creating the Millennium Falcon. So for something like this, obviously he has to be super precise with how he positions stuff. So he actually used a toy, like of the Millennium Falcon, to see that he positioned stuff right on there.
Yeah, and making sure that, and he used also blueprints too, and that toy, and he kind of just combined the two to make sure that everything worked not only structurally like one-to-one, but just practically as well when you look above it and below it.
Well, let's see. I think I may have an even older screenshot of Galaxy's Edge if I can find it. Let's see. Oh, I do. Okay. This was, okay, so let me show you. So this was the first picture I have of outlines. And this was all just stuff that we did in, I think, 3 days or so. And so we had all of that. And then Nave and I finished about a week and a month later. We sent a message to the whole team. And this is actually outlines finished. So this is right before we started building. This is what we had.
And that's all we start off with. And then we basically have to prep everything like the terrain, and you know, we go beyond and start from there.
Yeah, and shout out to Sorcerer Andrew and Willing Wing. They were there when we were actually making the outlines, so they were there way long ago when we started making everything.
I think this photo actually doesn't showcase the interior outlines for the two show buildings, and that was one of the hardest things to find online.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
Oh God, I don't even think I have
don't want
those
to talk
anymore.
about that.
No, we don't want to talk about those. Those were awful. Interior outlines, lesson to self, interior outlines are absolutely awful. They take hours. I think Smuggler's run for me took 13 hours to make interior outlines for, and we didn't even use most of them.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Rise of the Resistance was, I think, an additional 11. What'd you say? or something about that. I don't know. I
Yeah.
did the interior outlines for the land. They were terrible. Note to self: don't do them.
And if I'm
Right.
not mistaken, can't the guests also now go and see even because I think everyone's very impressed by the images of the outlining, but can't they also now go and see a sneak peek of what has become since these outlines?
Absolutely. I think we have some
Yeah.
stuff to show you right now. Actually, let's see. We sent some yesterday. Bo and I were arguing for hours over screenshots.
Yeah.
We
What's
wanted to
like-
get the best ones for you guys. So Bo, I'm actually gonna send mine if you're cool with that, and you can send
I'm
yours.
not actually. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I should have asked. Let's see. What haven't they seen yet?
I can show the last one I had.
Why don't you
last
just
night.
send the ones that you took, and I'll send the ones that I took.
Okay, cool. Here's one for me. So that right there is a general look at the land. So just in the picture, we have Ronto Roasters behind that tree. Doc Ondar's right behind and kind of the distance underneath the main spire in the land. And then we have Savi's Workshop, professionally built by the Kermit the Fraud. And then Docking Bay. Docking Bay is behind that. But then Droid Depot just in the far right.
Yeah.
And that one's the exterior to the market on the side.
Yeah,
And I'll
shout out to
actually-
me for making that. Looks really good. I'm really proud of
You
you.
don't. And here's the other
here's
side
a
of the
wide
building.
shot. If you want to see a horrible wide shot, here's
I-
this.
Yeah,
It's really big. You're clicking it. It's massive.
All right.
yeah,
so
and
to
this
stay-
land is massive.
Sorry,
We
so
have a
just to
better
stay
one.
on track with time, we actually do have to keep going on to the next question, but it
Yeah,
is
for
actually
sure.
for our builders and our park team. What has it been like leading the build team end of the project, and how have you guys kept the team working so efficiently and staying on task, despite obviously evident setbacks, as you guys were just talking about?
I think that's probably a better question for Bo, since I wasn't too involved in the leading portion, starting like when I got lead back in February or so. So he'd probably have a good answer for that.
Yeah, I was kind of almost thrusted into the project really early on. So basically, just how we got through it, we would just like separate when you join the build team. We just gave out individual, projects and buildings depending on each builder and what they would actually want to do. And from there, we just work on improving the buildings. So then we would really have a base outline. So I think back in February, we started out with like really early, not so great buildings. And then we, as time goes on, we further involved it. So that's why stuff like this takes so long, because we don't take like the first jab at the building. We keep remaking it. We keep, improving the land, section by section. I forgot the other side of the question. So
Yeah. So basically, I think how we keep it working efficiently is we just have to be honest with ourselves. There's been a lot of times, like especially before Bo came here, where the project was really struggling. Some people can build stuff, but it may not be acceptable for what we want. We go for a certain standard when we build things. We try to get things to look a certain way. And so when people can't build like that, we just have to be completely honest with ourselves and say, hey, this is something that we need to redo. This is something that we maybe need to look into more. And kind of consider, hey, is this something we are proud of? And if it isn't, we're going to spend the time to redo. And the answer for Galaxy's Edge was mostly yes. Bo and I went through almost everything, and we redid it. We went in and Bo redid most of the interiors,
exteriors
and exteriors, and everything that you can think of. We have looked over twice, 3 times, 4 times, because we're really trying to make it right. So basically, the answer, Sophie, is we don't trust like our first judgment, or we don't trust our first attempt. We just kind of keep judging things until we get it right. Yep.
Yeah, improving.
Now, I did actually see this in the chat, but Kermit, so you were the person who actually ended up building, I believe, the ship someone was talking about. Do you want to talk about maybe what that experience was like?
Yeah, sure. So, whenever I got the ship, they already had like the shape laid out and stuff. And so basically all I had to do was just go in and color it and add details to it.
Fun.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
that's the one you'll actually see a picture of the outlines in one of Bo's pictures, and then you'll see later on. Obviously, we took 2 pictures. Mine's better.
Wow.
Of the
Okay.
ship,
Wait,
and so
no,
you can
you're
see
doing
from
it.
start to finish, and you'll
There it is
actually see in
again.
the air if you click on the picture that Bo not just sent, but the one before that, the one with like the really old Galaxy's Edge.
Oh
You'll
yeah,
actually
this
see
one.
in the background we have it on a flat angle, and then it's on sort of a twisted 45-degree angle. So we actually built it on a 90-degree first. That way we could kind of know that we got the shape right, and then we changed it. And I think Songteller, the same guy who made the Millennium Falcon, actually made that. Actually made the outline for that ship, and he was originally supposed to build it, but he dipped because apparently it's too hard. But
Apparently.
Kermit did a great job, so we're super proud of our young predecessor.
Thank you.
So moving on now to our lovely tech team, who thank you guys again for joining us today. What has it been working on the tech end of this whole project? And obviously, as we know, tech adds a lot to the overall area, not just from things like the audio, but even just to animating the rides and to really just bring them to life. Could you guys, along with just explaining what it has been like working on tech for this project, maybe give us some examples of some things you've worked on or specific things you've added?
Yeah, so after build is done with all what they have to do, we go around and start with the environmental, like atmospheric kind of stuff. So we went through with like Ronto roasters, just sort of subtle things, but it still helps the environment of the land. And then after that, we move on to bigger things like filtered. You're working on Savis, if you want to explain how you're doing that.
Oh yeah, so when I started on Savis, I literally had no clue how to do it because when you start off on an interactive element, you expect to have the interactive element, come over to Minecraft, and for this it was a little bit more complicated than that because you're actually building a lightsaber. So what we decided to do was to make it a little mini game so you can actually customize the lightsaber and make it in the game, and it comes out and you're excited to see it. And for that, I feel like it's going to be one of the highlights of the park. Should we show the video? Or should we wait?
And just to elaborate on that too, our wonderful resource pack team has also made multiple lightsabers with different colors and different hilts. So basically, if you're gonna get a purple lightsaber, you're gonna get a different hilt, which is the bottom of the lightsaber where the blade comes out, is going to be different from, let's say, a blue one or a red one or a green one or an orange one.
Yeah.
Should be good to show the video.
Okay, so for a little context before we show the video on stream, this is a prototype of the Savi's workshop. So this is going to be using our brand new thing we've been working on, the motion capture. So it's going to be automatically run. There's not going to be any animatronics. So this is going to be a fully run show that can be reset every single time, and we don't need a person to run it. So yeah, roll it.
Excellent. You all completed your hilt and nothing unexpected or dramatic happened, because why would it? Which brings us now to the most dangerous part of the process. I want everyone to take a step back. We will now begin stabilizing your crystals for activation. This must be done with a great deal of care, skill, and timing, as a single inverted litter or cracked kyber crystal, and we will have another hole in the roof of this workshop. We won't be doing that again, will we? As we move forward into the next stage of the... What was that?
With many parts you began. Yes. With the heart of the saber they are joined. Much more they will become. It is time.
Master Yoda, it is indeed time to take that first step. The bond between Saber and Builder is about to be forged. In a moment, on my signal, everyone will take a step forward, place their hands on their hilt, and crouch, and together we will activate for the first time. Are you ready? Place your hand on your hilt, and activate.
moving on now, as I can tell, this is very exciting for everyone. I love seeing everyone's reaction. For everyone on the panel, and we'll go through everyone can answer this. What has been probably the most difficult part of working on Galaxy's Edge? And we'll start with you, Bo, and go around.
Yeah, okay. I have multiple things. I think just generally speaking, the layout to Rise of the Resistance, I think it took, when we were doing it, like just outlining it, I think it took like you and I like 3 days, like multiple hours per day, just trying to figure out like what was happening, what angles are correct. Because again, interior outlines half the time are extremely difficult and don't work. So it was definitely an experience and definitely a headache.
I'd probably have to say Smuggler's Run blueprints were horrible. So a lot of the time when we have to do like, say we take like a huge show building, right? And we have to do interior outlines for it. Oftentimes we're using someone else's blueprint. So somebody's blueprint who we don't necessarily know and has made a prototype blueprint. And sometimes those blueprints are right, sometimes they aren't. For Smuggler's Run, it was horribly incorrect and one of the angles was off. So it put us in it put me in a position where it took me like 13 hours to configure stuff. Began remembers I was having a really tough time one night configuring stuff, and he like kind of helped me get along with that. So I think just like the outlining process, like Bo said, is one of the most tricky things to do, because we kind of have to trust our own judgment and our own mathematical judgment, which is a very hard thing to put your trust in. So yeah, I would have to say definitely outlining.
For me, it would probably be the transport ship and Rise of Resistance, just because of the angle it's on. So like trying to make it a seamless transition where you enter the ship and then you exit in the hangar.
For me, it was definitely Rise of the Resistance. I mean, I didn't do near as much as Bo and Ulick did, but I did some of the transport ship stuff and the interrogation rooms. And you had to be very detail oriented and good with colors, and especially because the fact that it was on an angle, it was kind of difficult to get all that stuff right.
Filtered.
Oh, the biggest challenge for me working on Galaxy's Edge currently is Savi's workshop, because at this point in time, it's either it works or it doesn't work, and I'm trying to get it to look the best it can, because we are developing a plugin for this, and it's not really going to be tested yet. We're still working on whether it should, what should be done with it, and what should be what should be just be left to just the imagination of the player.
For me, like I've said, I'm not exactly entirely hands-on, but one thing that we've all kind of seen is how immersive it is. So that means a lot of things have changed, like even how the audio. I think that the way we've had to function as a team has completely shifted. The resource pack team.
All right. And then my next question, just as we're finishing it up, is what is one thing that you are all excited to see at the launch of Galaxy's Edge when everything's all done?
Honestly, I'm just happy for anything to open at this point. I've been working on this project for like too long. So I'm just really excited to see it, really anything open. I guess Rise Resistance though. Yeah. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, so I'd probably have to say, I don't know, like Bo said, I'm just excited for anything to open. We've been working on this tirelessly for like an entire year now.
Yeah.
It's been so to actually really release it and have it be a part of our park is just insane to me. And obviously it was sort of like this same story with the MK project. Like we worked on that for a really long time, and releasing that, I didn't really care about a particular attraction. It was just about the release as a whole. I was super excited for.
Mine would definitely be Rise of the Resistance, just because of BB-8.
Mine would be Savvy's Workshop. Maybe I'm biased because I sponsor it, but you know, it'll be fun to work. It'll be fun to ride. It's a cool ride.
I'm gonna be honest. As soon as I finished Frozen Ever After, they kind of dragged me onto the project, which it's so much fun to be. As soon as I was watching these guys build it ever since the beginning, and to finally be a part of this, and to be working on Savi's and Rise of the Resistance and some of the environmental audio, it's so amazing. It's so cool watching it all come together because it's some of the stuff that you literally would not imagine being in Minecraft.
I'm excited to see Smugglers, honestly, and that's just because it's going to be a different approach for how we've done scene rides before. But I'm also excited to see like the more experiences like Savi's and Droid Depot, just because we haven't really focused our attention as a parks and tech team like on those things before. But GE is so dependent on those two things that I think it'll be cool to have them on our server.
And then before we head into our Q&A, so for those with questions, please get ready. I do actually have one more question for everyone. Are you guys part of the Resistance or of the First Order? Let's start with
I
you,
would-
Bo.
I think I would be the First Order, honestly. I think I for a living have better job security. I don't know. Like everyone kind of dies on the Resistance, so yeah.
I
That's a
would
good point.
definitely be on the Resistance because I want to be on the opposite side of whatever Bo is on. Straight up.
Wow. Okay, I see it. I see how you.
Yeah, I'll probably be on the First Order.
I would be on the Resistance. I agree with you. Like I have to stay as far away from Bo as possible.
Whoa.
A smuggler is an
Whoa.
option. I would rather be a smuggler.
No, it wasn't. Sorry.
Oh, come on. I'm a Resistance then. I don't want to be part of any of that.
I think I'm gonna have to go with the Resistance too. Sorry to Bo. And I love also how many of you are also showing you're arguing over the Resistance with the First Order in the chat. So to continue now, we're going to start our Q&A session. So you can either, Random, I believe, did you set up a queue in the front area that they could potentially join?
They can
So
join.
you can either join the queue up there, or we have some staff also helping out in our Discord chat, and we'll help send in some questions that you guys all have.
They should appear on the right when they join the queue.
We actually have a first question though in the chat from Sandstone Wolf 14, and he asks, "Do you guys have any personal stories with the Star Wars series or the real life Galaxy's Edge?"
So I have a personal story. I have a video, but I'm not going to share the video because it's like a face reveal. But when I went there in March, right before the closing, literally like the day of closing, they had one of the stormtroopers follow me around the store or the land, and then he like arrested me, and then I left the zone and came back right before the actual like park closed for that day, and he recognized me again and was like, "I thought I told you not to come back in this land." And I just thought it was hilarious, like how immersive that is. It's crazy.
Okay, and we have actually from Magical Fox 10, who's our first person up at the mic. He is asking us, will the Ride of the Resistance and FO come with the opening of Galaxy's Edge or later on?
So we're planning to do Rise of the Resistance for opening, and then Savi's and all that good stuff. Smugglers is another story. We're working on sets for that, and that's still quite largely in development. So you're probably not going to see that at opening, if I'm being quite honest, but definitely Rise of the Resistance you can expect to see at the opening of Galaxy's Edge.
And that's merely just because like the sets are just so large. Like if anybody has like actually been on the ride in real life or just has seen a video, the ride video is just massive with like towering landscapes, and so it's much more than a small soaring.
Okay, our next question I keep seeing pop up in our chat a lot from multiple people is, when is Galaxy's Edge opening?
Putting you on the spot, random.
Yeah.
We're currently aiming to have all the tech done by mid-January, but obviously things can change. But hopefully soon. Hopefully before February.
Okay, so Rocky Solid is up next, and he is asking, will there be new cosmetics in the shop based on Star Wars in general?
Yes. Yes.
A lot. I just put one picture in panel discussion, and that's a Mandalorian helmet. But yes, there's a lot of cosmetics. I'm gonna show you. This isn't like a hand or a hat, but there is like the Coke bottles and the Sprite bottles coming as well. This is in my hand on the server. But that's the cosmetics, and like we said, we have a ton of like the Savi's sabers. There's a ton, yes.
Yeah, most of the shops are going to be functional. So even the marketplace, like I think there's Creature Stall, Black Spire Outfitters, Tordarian Toy Maker, Katsuka's Kettle, all those are going to be functional too in selling items.
Okay, we now have a question from Bailey Pineapple, who asks, what are all the steps to successfully create an animated character for the ride? So I think this would be a tech team question.
It's mainly just looking at a bunch of different videos and different angles of everything. Specifically, I'm currently doing the Rise of the Resistance, the like briefing pre-show. So looking at like 5 videos at once just to make sure I get the movements just right. Basically, and yeah, just like making sure all the speed, timing, stuff like that.
Okay, and now we have Mini Mascot 2 at the mic, and he is asking, what will the price be for building a droid and a lightsaber? If you guys have any idea on that yet.
To be honest, that's going to be kind of decided soon. We're just focusing on right now and getting pretty much all the items and lightsabers and everything working. They will be, some of the larger items will be, you know, more expensive, but we don't have really a clear answer on that yet.
And our next question is from Hamburger Crumb, who asks, what are your favorite lightsaber colors?
Purple, all the way. And
Purple.
you know what?
Purple's the best one.
Bo and I are actually going to give these out in the audience to 2 lucky people after the panel. So, and mine actually has my name on it. So.
Oh, I need to name one.
Yeah.
Probably purple or red.
All right, so next at the mic is Brer Gertie, who is asking, will Legacy lightsabers make an appearance at the Outpost?
Definitely in the future, I think. Right now we're just focusing on getting like the main couple, the colors that people recognize, and then we'll kind of like, if we're gonna do Legacy lightsabers in the future, then that'll be something probably after we release. But yeah, I don't think we're planning that for opening necessarily, but I think definitely in the future that's something we can shoot for.
We do have a couple Legacy lightsabers already, but they're kind of available around the parks. So we're just going to be just adding them already into GE, and then like UX said, we're probably gonna add more in the future.
Okay, we have a question in the chat from Disney Dante, who is asking, will you guys have the Chewie mode like in real life, where if you press buttons at the right time, you get it and you guys will have walk around characters?
That's a fantastic question. We don't fully know how we're doing like Smugglers, like the actual capsule and like the Millennium Falcon for it yet. So like it might possibly just be a model, so it'll be hard to like actually press the buttons, but we'll see. That could be something to look into.
And as far as like walk around characters and stuff, I think that's something we're planning for opening. We don't have a clear plan, but I think we're definitely gonna involve character team with opening. Obviously, having characters walking around all the time, that wouldn't be too special because they'd just be there and you'd be like, oh, there's another character. So I think we'll have them for opening, but as far as like all the time, I don't think that's gonna be a thing. I think we're just gonna leave you guys alone in the land.
Okay, I think the Christmas Rory is up at the mic if you have your question ready.
Oh no.
Oh no, it's okay, Rory. I have another question while you think of yours. So we have a question that asked, are there going to be Easter eggs to the Star Wars movies in the rides and the land?
I think we're definitely planning Easter eggs, but definitely not the type that you would think of.
Yeah.
We're gonna more so be paying tribute to stuff that's helped us create the land along the way. I think there will be some Star Wars ones in there, but I think there's gonna be more like personal kind of palace ones in there as well that you can expect to find. We already put a few in there, and we're definitely planning a few more. So yeah, but probably more stuff like Rob plays the games apartment, stuff like that. That's just sort of more personal to us as a team.
Literally, I think the closest thing to a Star Wars Easter egg is just like a Mando helmet and Doc Ondars. Like, I'm gonna be honest.
Rocky Solid is asking, will there be any new characters that you can meet, or are we not sure yet?
So I don't think we're necessarily going to introduce any new characters for the opening, but we're definitely going to bring back some old ones. So I think that's all up to like Peach MKP and what she wants to do for the opening. So yeah, let her know if you have any suggestions about that and about characters.
Okay, and we have Laughing Car now up at the mic. Cubits is asking in the chat, meanwhile, will there be multiple culinary choices for my wide diet throughout the parks?
Yes, as Cubits already knows, there are plenty of Ronto wraps available, but there's also other stuff like Coke and Sprite bottles, blue milk, and then we have like some meals inside of Docking Bay 7, so I think it's like one of them's called Tip Yip. So yeah.
Is that satisfying, Cubits? Okay.
He's still thinking.
Laughing Car asks, I guess, will there be any new food textures in the land?
Absolutely, you can expect some new food textures. I think we're working on retexturing food in general, but I think you're definitely going to see some Galaxy's Edge specific ones. Like Began already said, we have like the Coke and the Sprite bottles, the iconic circular orbs of Coke and Sprite, and so we'll have those in the land, and definitely like blue milk and stuff. As far as food options and retexturing those, I think that's something we're actively working on.
Yeah, it's more of a Minecraft version. Really, what's going to happen is that we will be able to add more foods to our texture pack when we eventually upload to go up to 1.13. So right now, not quite, but they're definitely going to be happening in the future.
All right, and I think that is all the time we have right now for questions and answers. Bo and Mulek, do you guys want to figure out how you guys are going to pick your winners for the lightsabers?
I'm just gonna throw it.
You know what? I'm gonna do a trivia question for mine. The first person to give me the first day the Galaxy's Edge was ever started.
Oh God.
Oh God.
The first day of Galaxy's Edge. First person to give me the date that we started Galaxy's Edge on. First person.
Is it just going to be the closest?
And I need
or
the
you're gonna make
exact
sure?
date. I need the exact date.
Okay.
First person to get the exact date.
I was say let's let the guests please answer this question. Thank you.
Congrats to Steve Fan 22. It was December 23rd, 2019. Well done.
Wow.
Where is he?
Cupid's December 32nd is not a date.
No, I think it is. He's right.
All right, Ulick, do you want to see who's gonna catch your bouquet?
I already gave it to him. I did.
Nah,
I
I'm just
did,
gonna chuck mine.
MC.
Alright,
He's got it.
no.
There we go.
Oh, this
You
is
check.
gonna be disaster.
Wait, I need to figure out how to do this. I need like a clump so it seems more fair.
Yeah, everyone clump together.
Please clump together.
Make it as
Alright.
chaotic as you want it.
Okay.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Good luck. Oh my god, it's gone.
Got it.
It's
Who
gone.
has it? Who got the lightsaber? Elisa. Congrats to Elisa and to Steve Fan, and thank you all again for coming out today to enjoy the GE panel. And I hope you guys will stick around for the next panel, which I heard is supposed to be absolutely amazing. It's the events panel. It is probably the best panel along with this one, so do please show up. And thank you again to Beganon, to Kermit, to Filtered, to Random, Bo, and Ulick for hanging out with me today and for answering some questions.
Yeah,
Thank you
any
for
questions
hosting.
you got about Galaxy's Edge, send them to Bo or myself. We'll be happy to answer whatever you have.
We're pretty transparent.
And go to the third or second best, who knows, panel. Right after the events team panel, we got the parks panel. You better show up to that because we're gonna have some super cool stuff to announce to you guys.
Yeah. Well,
Show
yeah.
up to all the panels, they're all awesome.
Period.
All right, thank you everyone.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Aye.